So this is our tomato polytunnel. As you can see, it's currently empty, but in the summer this is going to be absolutely jam-packed full of tomatoes. We've been preparing the ground now for a couple of weeks. As you can see, we put some of this great compost down. This was from the sheep shed last year, which we've had cultivating out in the field for some time now, and we put quite a deep layer of compost on the ground, but it needs digging in. The ground needs a little bit more preparation before the tomatoes go in. So we thought we would get the chickens to help us out. We've currently got all our chickens in lockdown because of the avian flu threat. So what we thought we would do is we would move some chickens in here and get them to spend the next 6 to 8 weeks tilling the ground, preparing the ground, digging it up, scratching, putting their own manure down, their own fertilizer down, ready for the tomatoes. But there's a couple of things that we need to think about before we can do that. The first and most important thing is the security of the chickens. The polytunnel itself is secure, but if a fox or a badger or another predator wanted to get through this plastic, he could. So we need to address that, and we've got an answer for that, which I'll show you in a minute. And also, this is a little bit wet at the moment, so we need to put some more stuff in here for the chickens to scratch around in. So we are going to put some wood chips in, and I'll show you where we're going to get those from as well. In terms of a coop, they're not going to have a coop. They're going to have some perches in here so that they've got somewhere to roost. They don't necessarily need a coop at the moment. They haven't got one. They're in a stable because they're in lockdown, so they don't necessarily need one to go into bed at night. And what it will also mean is that when they're on the perch, we can move the perches around and they will add to the fertilizer as they go around. So that's the plan. Put some chickens in the polytunnel, and this is how we're going to do it. So let's start on the outside and work our way in. Security then. How are we going to stop predators getting in? Well, it's a pretty simple system, and it's one we've adapted from our chicken tractors out in the field, and that is that we're going to put an electric fence all the way around. It's going to be attached to an energizer and a 12-volt battery, so that should give us anywhere in the region of about 12,000 volts, which will stop any predators. So let me just show you that now. This isn't finished yet. I'm going to show you the finished article tomorrow, but this is the fence. It's going to go all the way around here. Excuse the mess at the moment. We're just working on the allotment, getting it ready for planting in spring. So it's going all the way around. This is 50 meters of fence, goes all around both polytunnels, all around here. And comes down here. So the chickens inside the polytunnel will be safe from predators in terms of their security. We'll make sure that the fence is nice and straight. We'll make sure that there's no vegetation growing up underneath it. I'll, as I said, put an energizer on there, put a battery on there. I'll test the voltage before they go in, and we'll make sure that we keep on top of that. So that's the first thing sorted, is security ticked there. So what about the bedding we're going to put them on? Well, they've got the compost, you've seen that. I just wanted to add a little bit more organic material to it, just to give them something else to scratch around and make it just maybe a little bit drier. So what are we going to use? We're going to use this. This is some wood chips that these guys have been working on now for about 3 months. In here we've got a deep bedding system. We've got some cream leg bars in here at the moment. So this is a deep bedding system. We'll just go in and see. Come out the way. We've been adding wood chips here for some time now. I'll show you this if I can. So there is about 6 to 8 inches of wood chips down here. And if we were to have a good look under here, at the bottom of here is some really nice compost. It's not smelly. It's a mixture of chicken poop. They've been scratching around in here, making some really good stuff. So this is quite deep. This is the deep litter system which I've spoken about before on previous videos. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip some of this off the top here, and I'm going to put it into the polytunnel. so it gives the other chickens something to scratch around in, and it'll also be adding greatly to the quality of the compost that's already in there, ready for the tomatoes going in about 6 weeks. And then I'm going to put some fresh wood chips back in here and get those guys to carry on composting it as they've been doing it for some weeks. So it's all pretty joined up actually, which pleases me. So who's going in there? Well, it's these girls. They are a mixture of ex-battery hens. There's a cream leg bar cockerel and a couple of cream leg bar hens. It's probably a bit dark in here, but as you can see, this is where they live at the moment because they're in lockdown. They're in this covered area outside, but inside they're in this stable. That's where they currently perch, or they currently roost at night. Apologies, it's a bit dark. They've got a dust bath over there, and the nest boxes are over there. So basically the nest boxes and the perch and the dust bath, they're all going to be moved into the polytunnel, and then these girls are going to spend the next 6 weeks preparing the ground for the tomatoes to go in. So that's the plan for chickens in the polytunnel. The thing I really like about the plan is that it's really joined up and everybody has had their input into it. The sheep about a year ago started producing the compost and the manure. We cleared out the stables, we mucked those out, put them in a compost heap, and that's been developing nicely for the last year and is now on the ground. We gave some wood chips to the cream leg bars that you saw in the deep litter system. They've been working on that for the last 3 or 4 months, and there's some great compost there, some chicken compost that is also going to be put on the ground. And finally, we're going to have another group of chickens that are going to come in here and do all the hard work to produce some ground that we're going to plant some tomatoes in about 8 weeks time. So it's all pretty joined up, which I really like. So security was sorted, we've got the bedding sorted, we know they're going to live where they're going to live, we've got the perches, we've got some nest boxes for them. So the next thing to do is we're going to bring the wood chips in, then we will bring all of the roosting gear in, the perches, we'll bring the dust bath in, and then we'll bring the nest boxes in, and finally we'll bring the chickens in, and I'll make another video when it's all finished. So that's the plan, and I'll show you what happens when we finish.